There we go. Sorry, I had to hurry up and go ahead and mute my Twitch stream audio so I didn't accidentally pull that in. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of RSC's The PreJump Podcast. You've got me, your boy, and Mr. HUDX on the camera tonight. You're looking at me from the sky cam that is far too high up in my house for me to really enjoy. My neck is going to get tired. I just had to unmute you, so I don't think they heard you make that comment. Just putting it out there.
That's par for the course. Typically, they can't hear me when I talk anyways. They just hear the aftermath of when I talk, you know?
That's fair. That's fair. Well, my guy, we've got some fun topics on the board tonight. I know we kind of alluded to a little bit in terms of the post that I just made, because we do have our championship recap. We've got a few banners going up this season. We've got some new franchises entering the winner's circle for the first time. Super excited to talk about that a little bit, but then we're also going to talk about some predictions for upcoming championships, some big turnover at the top end here, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about I don't know, this thing called the mod election. The head mod election, because we have a new head mod.
As a former head mod, I am sorry for whoever the new head mod is.
You were a former wait, hold on. Yeah. So you're a former head mod and former media committee head?
I was never media committee head. No, I managed to miss out on having to be that, thankfully. But no, I was a mod committee head for a good 2 or 3 seasons a couple years ago, but no longer. That was past HUD. Current HUD has moved on from that. I wish them the best of luck with their further endeavors, but we'll talk about that later.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, my guy, I just want to go ahead. I'm going to put this up here so everybody can see this. This is a horribly photoshopped image of some RSC banners that I'm sure everybody can see super easily. And there's totally no difficulty seeing from some of those angles. I'm sure that's not a problem. I'm sure that's not a problem at all.
No, it's maybe not the clearest. I like the thought, and it's good for my immersion, but it's also my immersion means that I can't read it. I can see that it says Master, Contender, and Premier, and obviously I know how those series went.
Whoa! Did you say Master? It's amateur way over there, buddy.
Amateur? Oh, it's so far away. See, that's how bad my eyes are. Amateur, Contender, and Premier.
Oh God!
They both end in ER. Okay. I guess most of our tiers.
I was gonna say that's like 90% of our tiers.
It might be like 66% of our tiers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
at least
there's no elite. Oh man. Okay. We're just gonna move on. Okay, so for everybody who is tuning in, we're gonna start off a little bit talking about some championship recap here. HUD, holy heckaroonie. Let's start off with last Monday's championship. Let's start off with that amateur championship where we watched the curse come alive.
We watched a couple curses come alive, I think. I don't think it stopped at one. I think we had at least 3.
Dude, I'm just shook because they were, for those of you who did not watch it, even though it was probably one of our highest watched finals outside of the Prem finals. Oh, actually, I would say it's pretty close to Prem Finals. It was Cathilla versus, House Salads, right? And House Salads looked every bit as dominant coming into this series. And quite frankly, it looked like they were going to run away with the championship because they were up 3-1. And then it happened.
It really did happen.
It really just went downhill from there. To recap, because I got a lot of background information about this kind of while we were live, and I ended up spilling the beans afterwards. I'm still trying to put my mind around it.
To figure out how best to phrase this.
So there is a rule with streamed matches that each team can only bring in 3 players into the lobby from each team, because between those 3, each team having 3 people, and then there's 2 casters and a producer. That's 9 people on the in the lobby. 10 is the cap. So it would be unfair for one team to bring in their 4th. So there's always been a streamed match rule that, hey, you can only bring in 3. If you bring in your 4th, we're going to go ahead and reset and just go from there. The fourth 4 breadsticks, not going to name names, everybody can go back and look if they really want to, joined the lobby, and unfortunately it caused a reset. So there was they were up 2-0, I think, when we finally got ahead.
I think they were up to, well, in the game they were up, there was a kickoff goal on the immediate kickoff, because there was disarray with people joining the lobbies, which is why we called for the remake. But I think they were up 2-0, 2-1 in the series. How salads
3-1.
were
3-1 in the series. They were literally with that kickoff goal. Yeah, that was game 5. With that kickoff goal, it looked like we were going to close it out. We were going to be done with it. Mind you, this was probably one of the latest series we've had so far, because the amateur semifinals for Cathilla versus, I want to say, Sketch Squad went to 7. All 7 were played, and it lasted. The series lasted for over an hour. It pushed everything back. One of the players for House Salads had his parent walk in and unplug his computer midway through the remake of match 5. So they had to play match 5 2-3 with one of their best starters removed from the game right off the bat. Huge momentum shift where they lost game 5. Game 6, I believe they subbed in their 4th Calmander.
They would have had to. Yeah, it was Calendor, I think.
Calendor. So they subbed in their. I don't know why I'm trying to recall all this from my head. We literally talked about it in text chat, and I gave a breakdown. What am I doing with my life?
Boss has already done all of this thought once. He's trying to do it again.
Yeah, Dad unplugs his PC, and then in game 7, which actually I wonder if we can see it. Hold on. Let me get rid of this junk background Twitch cover here, because I've already got the finals pulled up. Where is it at? Because this was, for me, this was such a... When I go back and I watch this, I was like, this is the worst time for Schmelly to disconnect physically possible. I don't think it could have been any worse.
No, it was it was right at the end of Game 7. I remember they were trying to push it to find an equalizer right at the very end, and then in the screen grab for the stream, you can see Schmellet just kind of drive off into the ceiling, and it was a tough break, and they had it close, but. With that being said, I don't remember it from the way that I remember seeing it. He was out of that play anyways. This ad's great in the background.
Whoever produced Wednesday didn't change the title of the stream, so I was watching the Tendy final, looking for an Emmy clip. Like, what's going on?
Whoever produced Wednesday, that was me actually.
Yeah. Oh, but no, it was easily like, it was heartbreaking for me. I was absolutely I was screaming because it was, first off, it was me and T-Sant in the booth, and I love cooking with T-Sant. That man is awesome. Contrary to any possible other statements that might have been clipped from this channel, revolving. Where's it at? Oh, there it is. I just passed it. So right here, as it kind of talks, as we kind of watch it, pushes it over. He's going to pop it. Should be popping it across here off the backboard. It's going to go right over Schmelly. And you'll see it from Schmelly's kind of POV. The director cam cut at the perfect spot here. And it was just brutal, right?
Yeah, maybe.
No, it was OT, wasn't it?
It was literally the ensuing event to them getting scored on was a Schmellet kind of DCing here. I think he was caught up. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, right here. Because you can watch Schmellet literally playing fine, looking great. They've had a lot of pressure in this game. They've kept it in the front third. Starts driving DCs.
Yeah, it's yep, there it is, right up the sidewall, and yeah, it's tough. And then his teammates they've got to make a save on the backside, and they just can't cover it off. It was heartbreaking to the point where like I think we were all kind of in shock. Like it just we didn't even have time to think like oh my God, is this going to happen? Like, it just was, all of a sudden it was over. And it's like, we just watched this reverse 7. I didn't even see the save almost get made on the shot coming across. Fractional, marginal. And it's tough for House Salads. It's got to be.
No, and I literally didn't notice any of this for the most part up until it had already gone away. And I was like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and give Cathilla their roses. It's all exciting. But dude, this is now the 4th straight season that something in Amy, I don't know if it's the water, I don't know if it's lower class chat, I don't know what's going on, but there's something about Amy that's just ruining first overall teams or first seeds, and I don't know what to do about it, man. That's wild. Horrible chain of events. Ends up giving Cathilla the dub. They get their chip here. Tech 4 opening up the offseason on Monday with the first chip of the offseason. And my man, wow.
Yeah, there's a few GMs that are going to be scrapping it out for who can win the most chips this season. But coming back to your point earlier about not knowing quite what happened, how many times throughout the season did House Salads play on stream? Boss Rodala, tell me. 0. They played no times on stream over the course of season 19 until they got to the finals. Scythilla played on stream once in February. We've talked about it a few times on past podcasts when we talk about the benefit of playing on stream, why it's such a big deal. Maybe a little bit of fuel to that fire of the teams that are used to playing on stream are used to the later time on stream, because that's something that is everybody's made aware of from the very beginning, is that streams go late after matches for regular season and for playoffs. It's something you got to plan ahead for. If you're somebody that's got to go to bed at 11:30 to get up for work or school, you got to know that at the beginning of the season, because when you make a run, you got to be there for your team. And, having that extra experience beforehand, I think, is such a huge differentiator once you get down to crunch time game 7. And that could be definitely one of those extra ticks in the box of Scythilla. And obviously, they don't need any more ticks in the box. They already have the trophy. But, definitely, get your teams on stream.
Well, and I think they got... Yeah, they got lucky, but they were able to actually close out when it was most needed.
They had to finish. They had to win 4 games or 3 games in a row.
Right. And that game 6 was a close one. I don't remember it being a blowout in favor of Cathilla's. It was definitely a hard-fought victory, especially considering like all of the players on House Outs have been solid. So I'll definitely give the roses to Cathilla for the win. But man, that is just some awful luck.
Yeah. No, it's tough, and that's the way that it apparently is only allowed to shake out in amateur. But fortunately or unfortunately, I suppose, on how you want to look at it once we talk about this more, Contender also featured a 50-50 pizzeria team in the finals, and it was another banger. We had also had some shades of deep runs and a late series go for the Contender after some scrambling to get things working with no Bacchus mod overlay, because Rocket League decided to push a hot fix at 7 p.m. when we have a stream at 9:30. Because how dare Psyonix not think about our needs before they send out their hot fixes?
You say that like we didn't lose a whole franchise fight night earlier this season because Epic was like, oh, by the way, I know you guys are streaming at 9 p.m., but we're pushing out an update at 9 p.m.
I'm saying that like we didn't have to reschedule an entire Memorial tournament for a month later because Fortnite crashed Rocket League servers. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no. If there's anybody who's familiar with Epic's shithousery, it's me. We had none of that in the Contender final. It was knockdown, drag out all the way through 1 seed, 2 seed, Cheese Pizza, and Pastry Pioneers, and we had to kind of slog through it, but you were around for the end of that one, boss. You weren't around for the beginning of it. If there's anything that sticks out in your brain from that series?
Well, first off, that series, historical, just want to point out there. A lot of GMs have come and gone, and a lot of them have pulled 1 or no chips. We've seen a lot of GMs enter the league, play or GM for 1-2 seasons, and then walk away with nothing. And I'm not going to lie, I thought Armo was in that curse because I've seen the Bakery put a lot of really good teams into the playoffs, and then they just don't make it. They crumble. Something happens inevitably, and he ends up walking in like no chips. I believe season 18, he had 5 or 6 teams make the playoffs. He had one of the highest winning percentages in the league. And I was like, oh, one of them's got to get the dub.
At least
nobody. None. And I was like, okay, season 19, maybe it's going to be different. And it was. It for sure was. Shout out to Pastry Pioneers for taking the dub, getting Armo's first chip. I actually was able to reach out to Mr. Chapa, and I asked, hey, man, do you mind if I get a statement about your...
Oh, you did the thing that I said I wanted to do and then didn't do?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the best.
I said, hey, Chapa, can you go ahead and give me just a quote, just a soundbite, something I can work with? I haven't even read it yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and read it. Hopefully he didn't swear, because I don't feel like getting a second strike.
Boss has to censor himself on the stream here.
Since joining the franchise last season, Armo has been nothing but a pleasure to work with, always willing to get us replay reviews or whatever we need to improve, and seriously, the biggest hype man I've ever been around. The man was literally out at dinner when we won our chip and jumped into the call to congratulate us, so all in all, I'm incredibly honored to be able to give him a chip in return for everything he's done for us. And I'm not going to lie, first off, hits you in the feels. Gotta love it. Gotta love seeing the big ups coming from the players to their GM. But, dude, I'm just glad that we finally got to see an Armo championship.
It was bound to happen eventually. You stick with it enough, it'll go your way. I know that you said that some people come and go.
Would you like me to pull up the amount of GMs that don't have a chip in this league or never had a chip?
I don't want anybody to catch any strays, and for once, I won't catch one because as a GM, I did win a championship. So I know what goes into it. I know that it's not a thing that you can just kind of fluke into. So absolutely huge props to Armo for finally getting a team to get it all the way across the finish line with trophy in hand. It takes GMs. If you care about your teams, if you care about your franchise, your teams become your babies, and the teams that win, parents say they don't have favorite children. The teams that win are your favorite teams.
They don't have favorite.
The ones that win championships are definitely the ones that I at least personally remember the fondest. But shout outs to the Bakery and all those guys for getting it done. It was another good one. It ended 4-2 in favor of Pastry Pioneers. But if I'm remembering that one correctly, Cheese Pizza had like a 7-0 game win in one of their wins, and then Pastry Pioneers,
they were super dominant, and then Pastry Pioneers just figured out a way to just flip the script, say, hey, it doesn't matter that you've got a super dominant offense, it doesn't matter that you're playing high-paced, high-octane plays. We're going to go ahead and just stop that right here. Okay? We're just going to shelve what you're doing, and we're going to take our chip.
Yeah, and both teams come off of a 4-0 win in the semifinals. They really did just kind of like, this is ours now. Like, we're just gonna take this one and get out of here and leave everybody else to not have to worry about Game 7 in another final. So, yeah, big shout outs to Pastry Pioneers and all them. And it's always good to hear GMs get love from their players. I think some players or some GMs don't even you don't have that connection player to player, GM to player. And I think the franchises that have GMs that are willing to get to know their people and really put that extra effort in are the ones that are going to succeed. You're just going to have people that want to play for you. So it only makes sense that those are the guys that are winning now.
For sure. Well, that kind of wraps up our attendee chip here. I know we've got one more chip. Nobody cares about Prem. Let's just roll. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's not like we didn't have 150 viewers at one point during that Prem championship.
Yeah, it was fun.
Sweaties.
They were sweaty too.
Dude, oh my God. I was sick, right? So I casted, for those of you, I keep saying for those of you who don't know, but I say that like 50 times a stream.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of them know too. So
I jumped in to the 10D stream, casted 2 matches because I had just gotten off work. I actually had like left work feeling super garbage. I was throwing up. I wasn't feeling great. So I went ahead, finished out that cast, and then just handed it back to HUD and Boa and said, I can't do it. You guys got it. I'm laying there and I'm watching the most like ungodly slugfest of players that just have too much ball control, too much patience. And it was crazy. Like for a second there, I thought I was going to be proven right. Because in Game 7 there, I thought Hawk Attack was going to be able to tie it up and get me the correct prediction here. But Interstellar, having beaten Tarbage Grux and then Hawk Attack, they definitely made that push. And I really hope Tech wasn't right. I really hope Tech wasn't one of the people who predicted that it was Interstellar.
For what it's worth, Boa and I both remembered right after I turned the stream off that we didn't remember to say anything about the fact that your prediction was wrong. So you at least got out of us throwing you under the bus on stream. But you did it yourself right here. So thanks for doing that.
Of course.
Yeah, it was an interesting series to definitely get through. It was like defense optional almost for the first 3 games or so, just 11 goal score lines back and forth. Both teams really choosing to prioritize going for the ball over defending the net, but it didn't stay that way.
I just clicked on like anywhere in the Prem matchup, and it's 5-5 within a minute into OT. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, no, there was the first few games definitely were just kind of shootouts, but then both teams really kind of started to settle in and play a little bit more, just a little bit more solidly, a little bit less, the jitters and like the championship vibes were definitely there. You could tell just from the speed at which both teams were trying to operate at, and to their full credit, both teams were operating at that speed on offense for like 85% of the game, really, with just no stopping them by the other team. And it worked out really well because both teams, it was almost like they talked like the NBA All-Star game this past year, right? Like went into the locker room at halftime and went, all right, we're gonna put up the biggest numbers that any NBA All-Star game has ever seen. It's like they got together and said, all right, first 3 games of this, no defense, offense only, go for clips, and then we'll tighten it up. We'll play the last 3 games like we mean it, and best team wins.
Dude, first off, I can't believe I bet against Ashes. I'm like,
no, that was unwise of you.
I was so. He won the most recent 2s Prem finals. Like, he's won 3s, he's won 2s multiple times, and I don't know why I bet against him. And I was like so hoping for Hawk Attack. Like, I was like, oh, come on, Hawk, let's see it. I wanted the fact that Dylon renamed a team in his franchise before he knew he was getting a player. I was like, come on, please, let it happen. It's in the script. It is the script. Like, let it happen.
That's very much like the Dodgers basically giving Shohei Ohtani part of the team kind of vibes, right? Like, I'm gonna rename this team just for you. You got to make sure that you're here, but it is yours if you're here. There's no better way to entice somebody in. And,
my name is Boss Rodella, and I drink Dr. Pepper Strawberry Cream, which you can now buy from your local grocery. Yeah.
If only.
If we were sponsored by Dr. Pepper, oh my God.
I feel like we could swing that. We could get some college football crossover stuff here. That's no problem. That's all you got to do.
Our production quality would go way up so fast.
I mean, yeah, between the 2 of us here, I think that's a low bar to clear. But
hey, relax.
That's self-deprecating more than it is deprecating towards you. Just not right now. But yeah, I mean, I think you went wrong in betting against the guy that made our fantastic intro, because obviously I wasn't going to let him not win the championship. Duh. Have you seen the intro? You've seen the intro, right?
Yeah.
Ashes did that.
Of course intro, I've seen the intro. Are you kidding me?
A few times, right? It's pretty good. Ashes
yeah, you know who worked. No, I'm not even gonna do
it. Yeah, don't bite on that joke.
Gosh darn it.
No, of course it went that way. I'm sitting here watching the replays that you have in the back, like the VODs playing, and I can see my mouse on the screen because I was streaming this game and casting it. So when I'm sitting there talking to Boa and going over stats afterwards, I'm circling things on my monitor with my mouse. Like, this team has 6 goals. This team had 4 shots. I'm circling them, and everybody can see it. It makes me feel so very self-conscious with having to produce and cast at the same time. But
well, my guy, get ready to be self-conscious again, because now we're moving into the next 4 chips in the
in one of those tiers.
So we'll start off right in order. We'll go ahead. Mind you, anybody who's going to be tuning in to watch this, chips will be producing. We've got Boa and BB Comedian on the desk, but the first one's going to be Prospect Finals tomorrow, actually. So don't watch March Madness. Watch RSC's Prospect Finals, and that.
Yeah, and it's Bockrug versus Munster Misfits for Bockrug. Sorry, pardon me. For that Prospect Final that'll start at 9:30 tomorrow night. Number 1 seed versus the number 7 seed. And it's going to be another good one. I mean, these the bottom 3 tiers are always my favorite, boss, because they are just grab bags. They're totally you never know what you're gonna get when you come into a prospect, a contender, an amateur final. You might see triple commits all night. You might see somebody hit a double flip reset. Like, there's no way to know until you get to watch it. And I think these are 2 teams that are definitely going to be looking to finish off strong seasons. Obviously, we've talked about Bockrug a couple of times over the course of the season, but look at that transition. Wow. Munster Misfits also, they're a big underdog coming into this one as a 7 seed.
Well, I wanted to actually talk about that, because when you look at Bockrug, you look at like Jazz Magic, you look at, I can't pronounce that one, you look at Mr. Tech 4. You look at these players and you see like 89 SPV, you see 64.9, 61.3. You see some really solid players. Jazz Magic having a hell of a season, 75 goals, 68 saves. But the first Munster Misfits player you see has a 53.6 SPV through 26 matches, which, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, dude, for a guy who's only got 12 goals and 35 saves, you would think, hey, maybe this 7th seed probably isn't going to be doing super hot. Their best statistical player is going to be Ozzy from the Munster Misfits, who's got 36 goals on 57 saves. But, dude, they clearly have to be a great team to go through the number 2 seed Barbarians, who, 43-17, and then they beat the technically the 3 seed Spastics, who are also 43-17. So the Munster Misfits, who are 30-30 going into the playoffs, beat 2 teams back to back that are 43-17. I'm gonna be honest, if we're talking about a giant killer entering the playoffs, if they can beat Bockrug, who is 45-15, entering this playoffs, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be shook that they were able to walk through 3 teams totaling 131 wins against, quick maths, what is that, 49 losses. So I mean, that is ungodly.
Yeah, that's a pretty good run so far. They've got the biggest test left, but they've already won a best of 7. Both teams have already played on stream once this season, so there's no rust to shake off as far as that goes. It by all accounts, it should be a great series that I won't be able to watch because I'm going to be trying not to be eliminated from the rival playoffs. But it's going to be a tough battle for Munster Misfits, or it's going to be it looks like it's going to be a tough battle on paper, but obviously this is a team that's found another gear here in the playoffs, boss. It doesn't, you don't just kind of make it to the finals in a single elimination tournament by accident. Like, it's a team that's found a way to put it together. The regular season maybe didn't go the way they wanted it to, but their postseason's absolutely on fire. So they just got one more best of 7 to really solidify that. And I don't know what the stat would be. We would have to look it up, but I don't know what the lowest win percentage team to win a championship is before. But 30-30 coming into the playoffs is not I think that would definitely be an interesting one to look at.
Oh, for sure. And the fact that they beat, and these weren't even like teams with extremely high win percentages with like maybe bad back five where they just got cold at the wrong time. These are teams that were, Barbarians were 14-6 going into the playoffs. Spastics were 19-1. Like this was a team, yeah, casual. This team was so hot, like white hot coming into the finals that I was like, into the playoffs, I should say, that I was like, oh, Spastics, finals team, they're gonna make it, easy peasy. And then when they got bounced by a 7th seed, I was like, I'm sorry, keep awesome.
Yeah. Excuse?
Can you just walk that back real quick and just go ahead and reiterate? But I'm willing to put down. I think it happens, man. I think magic is in the air. I think the Giant Killers slay one more Goliath, and I think we're going to see Monster Misfits take it 4-3 on finals.
He's already throwing out predictions. 4-3 on finals, I think, is not a bad choice at all. I think that I've seen Monster Misfits play a few more times this season than I've seen Bakrug, but I'm really hesitant to pick against Tech 4. Man,
I'll do it. I'll do it twice. I'm picking against Tech 4.
I am gonna say I'll give Tuxedo Marks the pick for the prospect finals for the Monster Misfits.
Wow.
Former media committee head Tuxedo Marks. They'll win it 4-2 in the big old upset.
Amazing.
That's more exciting than me just agreeing with you, isn't it? Or me just saying I don't want to pick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah.
I actually don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I hope both teams have a good time. I hope a lot of people tune in and watch, but outside of that, whatever.
So, as we get prepped, the next tier that's going to be going up for the finals that same day is going to be the Master Finals, which is an extremely interesting series because most times when you have a finals, you've got a top 3 seed and probably like the 1 or the 2. So you've got like maybe the 1 and the 3, the 2 and the 3, maybe the 1 and the 4. Not traditionally do you see the 7 make it so far. The Master Finals, let me just go ahead and put this on screen here. The Master Finals is going to be the 5th seed Crash Compactors versus the 7th seed Eggplants. In Master, the 1 seed Basilisks and the 2 seed Huacayas were both bounced in the first round. If the Stagnant Snails, by the way, super cheap team from Elite, a lot of people kind of remember here, held by Moose, if they had gone ahead and made it through, we would have had a 7 versus 8 finals. That would have been absurd. But 5 versus 7, 5 being the highest seed that's likely going to win or potentially win this finals.
Right, a favorite at least coming into it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, but it's no, that's not typical. I mean, everything that we've seen so far, I think the 3 that have happened have been a 2 and a 4 seed, and then a 1 seed and a 2 seed, and a 1 seed and a 2 seed. So 5 and 7 here at the end of the road is we're used to being able to pick out like the Titan and then David and Goliath kind of thing. You see the underdog, but this one is 2 teams that I don't think anybody would have picked if we did pick'ems at the beginning for this Master Final. But I'm partial to Mace Management. As a member of Mace Management, Crash Compactors getting the star. Buddy. We're gonna have to talk about Mace Management eventually because we're gonna scroll up and we're gonna look at Rival, and I'm on one of those teams. So get ready for it, boss.
We're not talking about Rival.
I mean, it's there, isn't it?
No, Rival's like 2 weeks, like a week and a half now.
Yeah, whatever.
Wednesday is challenge. We're gonna do challenge.
Okay, we're just doing this week. Never mind.
Just this week. We still have a podcast next week.
Boss is like, bro, pump the brakes.
And hopefully next week you can hype yourself up because you'll be making a deep playoff push.
Bro, I don't know how we're in playoffs. I don't know. This is the first time I've been in playoffs in like a year and a half.
Forgive me. Buddy, please forgive me. Oh, God. No, but so I'm just going to get right in. I'm going to make my prediction. I think Eggplants do it, and I'm not pulling from an RSC background here. So we had our Community Clash tournament, which For better or for worse, every other league put up their equitable premier teams. They had their best teams. They put up 2 of their best teams, and they said, hey, we're going to run it. We had 2 master teams in that tournament, mind you. And Eggplants almost beat the eventual champions. Or at least I'm pretty sure they almost beat the eventual champions. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I'm not in that server anymore. I goofed. I'm not even in that server anymore. But he played one of the teams that at least made it to the finals. He played one of the UR teams. They almost beat players with Prem players. Like, because they had, I believe, Arrow was on their team. And Arrow is a Prem guy in RSC. The fact that this Eggplants team was able to go into this knowing, hey, we're playing incredible competition. It didn't phase them. They played exceptionally well. I think that's going to translate very heavily because those were also streamed matches in front of players that they don't even know. This was a pretty large crowd of people from every league, and I think that they've got that diff. I think that you're right. I think it's the Rob diff, and they're going to get that chip.
They definitely have got a good chance to do it. I mean, there's not a better time, and they're warm, they're tight. Like, it sounds like everything is really going good for the Eggplants right now. They've been playing together a lot. We've not been able to nail Rob down to do anything because he's been so busy being so good in this tier all season. You know, what a shame that we haven't been able to have him in the box more, because every time we want to get him, he's like, no, I'm busy, sorry.
I just realized as well, if Eggplants can pull this off here, and which I don't know if I actually made my prediction. I put 4-3 in favor of Eggplants. This will be a back-to-back chip in the Master tier after they lost Gavalanche, who went to Prem. So for sure, like, this would be an interesting storyline.
It sounds like Rob Diff to me. That's you continue to say these words, and all I hear you saying is Rob Diff. That's it.
So what is your prediction then, my guy?
I'm gonna have to pick against the Rob diff. I'll go in 6 because that's what I picked last time. 4-2 for the Crashed Impactors. Mace Management has my heart. Mace Management has my heart. I can't pick against them. Bex will cut me.
Bex will cut. Oh, buddy.
He did it already. He cut me last season. He'll do it again. I know he will.
He'll do it. Where's that goofy gif where he's like, "I'll do it again."
I did it once. I'll do it again.
Oh, God. Well, that kind of wraps up our predictions for Monday. Wednesday, we'll kind of breeze through here because we're already at 41 minutes. Actually,
there's not even finals to predict yet for Wednesday. Those haven't even been set, so we can only talk about them so much as it stands.
Yeah, we'll go ahead.
I think Challengers first. Go ahead. You have the clicky.
I was going to say, I think the easiest way to do this, we'll go ahead, you pick a team that you think's going to win it, over who and how many games. And we'll just go from there.
First one?
Yeah.
So our 4 teams in Challenger: Void, Toucans, Breadsticks, Slow Starfish. Oh boy. Number 2, Toucans over Void and on the Solar side. I'm going to say face off of the 2 seeds here in the finals. Toucans, a Slow Starfish. 4-3 for the Toucans for me.
4-3 in favor of Toucans. I think realistically for me, right? Like when we're talking about Challenger teams, I think, God, this is going to be tough.
Yeah, there's a lot of good teams that have had good runs already through. I mean, Toucans and Void both 3-0 their quarters. And I think the semis on Monday is going to show us a lot of like how those first 2 series go, and they kind of Challengers got it nice here because they don't have to play their semis and their finals in the same night. They can play one game and then come back fresh after you win your semi for the final on Wednesday. But yeah, I'm not envying your decision, boss.
Well, and what's wild is, right, when we talk about we looked at stats before, pretty in depth for a lot of other tiers, and like one of the stats I really like to follow is the save stat, because it can tell really one of 2 tales. You're either going to have a really high save count, which could be, maybe you guys are playing exceptional defense, you're playing up tempo, it's working out for you, or you're having high save count and it's translating to a lot of losses because you're not controlling the mid range, or maybe you have a low save count because you can't extend to the ball, you can't get there, you can't make the saves, so you take an incredible amount of losses, or you have a low save count, but you have a lot of wins, like we saw with House Salads, because they never played defense. Like, they just didn't. They didn't have to.
No, if you just score more than your opponents, then it doesn't matter.
The wildest part about, like, these teams, right? Like, when I'm talking about... Hold on, let me resort it here. Toucans in Shally, the team that you just predicted to win, has only 176 saves. They are playing that same style of offense. Well, I say only. The league minimum is 125. They are only, 11 spots away from that position. Yeah. They are like the 12th lowest save count. Yeah. And they're doing it in Shally, which is pretty wild because the higher... Yeah, the higher the tier you go, traditionally, the minimum threshold's a lot higher. So they're... Either they played all of the bad teams that never could play offense, or they just didn't have to play defense because they were playing exceptionally well. And I believe with their 41-19 record, it represents their... Slow Starfish, though, were 183, not too far off. And then it really, really climbs to, like, Breadsticks at 205, and then you're looking at, who was the last one that I was looking at? Void, right? Void was 218. So Void is playing for a team that is as successful as they are. They're playing a lot more defense, so maybe their rotation's a little bit deeper, a little bit further back. They're a little bit more spaced out. I think, realistically, your Toucans pick is probably the most accurate, from my opinion, because you're going to see Toucans probably beat out the Void in a more more offensive-minded game. And then they're going to probably end up facing Slow Starfish with how incredible they've been, not only on defense, having only 183 saves, only 7 more than Toucans, but their offense at 196 goals puts them in, like, the top third of all of RC. So I think it's going to be Toucans, Slow Starfish, but I think Slow Starfish is going to probably take it just because they have 36 more goals as a team than this Toucans team, and I don't know if the Toucans can just outshoot this Slow Starfish team. So I think Slow Starfish take it. I think it's going to probably be 4-2. Game 6, they're going to take the chip.
All right. There's some really high percentage shooting teams here in the last 4 for Challenger as well. And Slow Starfish have got the highest shooting percentage of the 4 that are remaining. So they definitely they know how to put shots on goal and finish them. So it is, definitely going to shake out to be another good one. I don't think we've had any real stinkers of finals yet as far as, like, them just not being entertaining. I think we've had, 2 7-game series and a 6-game series. So
oh, yeah. We've had so many close ones, which is great because last season we had, 2 or 3 that were just sweeps.
4-0 sweeps just to get out of it. But no, these ones have been good, and hopefully it looks like we're set for a few more close ones coming up this week.
And then the last one for this week will be Wednesday's 10-15 series, which will be the Elite Finals, which I'm going to be honest with you, no games have been played yet. So this is kind of
they have not.
This is kind of legitimately March Madness. We're gonna dartboard a couple teams here, and really just I think I'm gonna go first, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
So we're talking Elite, right? And like I said, I'm a big fan of teams that are extremely low on the save count. Menthol 227. Next Elite team is going to be Knights, which I don't even believe Knights were... No, Knights aren't even in the playoffs. Menthol's a 5th seed. Surus, though, 6th seed. So, for sure, I'm willing to bet pretty good money here. Probably going to be on Surus, sitting at 30.9% shooting, which is going to be about mid-range for the tier. I don't think they have too much of a difficulty going through. They're going to be going against the Ravioli Rangers. There's no heckin' way Azathoth is going to take their 4th straight Elite chip. I'm sorry. I lost my mind 2 seasons ago when they knocked out the Great Whites in the semis and then beat the Ghastly Goombas. No, I think it was Great Whites in the quarters and then the Ghastly Goombas in the semis, and then or maybe it might have been flipped. Either way. But anywho, They beat two incredible teams, walked in, took the chip. They three-peated last season. My guy, they can't do it 4 times in a row. So we'll probably see Source in the final, and then we'll probably see Summoned just because they've been so dominant all season. And I think we're going to see that David versus Goliath diff, and we're going to see Source take the chip.
I've got really bad news for you, boss, because before you even start talking about Azathoth, I was already like, yeah, they're looking like they might make their way back to another finals. And I've got the schedule up here from the season, but now I have to find my way back to the bracket. I have to duplicate this tab so I can look at both of them, because I want to see who our potential Azathoth killers could be. Because if at the end of the day, our thought experiment here is, will Azathoth win another Elite Championship 4 in a row? Which I would say has got to be another. We've been talking about history in RSC. I think that would be another one. If they haven't already cemented themselves with 3 championships in a row, 4 is hard to touch.
I think Tree Frog, if I remember right, Tech 4 let me know a little bit of history, because this was before my time. I believe he said Tree Frog had a team in Master. Let me go to my. I'm almost certain that he said Tree Frog did it once with a quad beat.
While you look for that, I'm finishing scrolling through the results from the season. Azathoth, their first round matchup is against Thunder. 2-2 them first meeting during the season, and let's see, they had to play them a second time, right? They're in the same division, are they not? No, I'm mistaken. So 2-2 to Thunder the first time.
Look at that. This guy doesn't even know where he is.
No, don't even know where I am. Ravioli Rangers and Surus on the other side, since you already picked them out. They have, pretty good team. Me sitting here going through this is not as easy as I thought it was going to look.
Tree Frog did quad Pete in Master with his franchise.
So
this would be, to my knowledge,
once. It would be an equaling.
Time. Yeah.
Well, hey, the only way that we can get to 5 is if they make 4, right? Gotta make 4.
Man, please don't. I don't know if I can handle a quad.
Azathoth 3-1 Surus when they met them earlier in the season. Demons, Great Whites. Let's see. I think they. That's Ghastly Goombas. None of those teams are the ones that I just said out loud.
What?
My pick is Azathoth. I think they're going to go all the way. Other side of the bracket. They'll go up against Dumpsters. My Mace Management team here picks for the memes. Dumpsters versus Azathoth in the finals. And Azathoth's going to win on a Game 7 overtime winner, just so that way it is as close to a win for Dumpsters as humanly possible.
Buddy, I'm weak. I am absolutely weak. No.
Just in case.
Dude. Oh, God. All right. Well, that wraps up all of our predictions here, and you heard it from us. Some of these are probably going to be really wrong, just because that's the way RSC playoffs seem to shake up.
Elite especially is just so far out. We've got so little to base a prediction off of here. It's really just a shot in the dark. But who knows? Maybe one of us will be right, and then we can tell everybody that we've written the script.
Oh, 100%. God. Let's go ahead, though. We'll wrap up our predictions here, and we'll move on to kind of one of the last major things. We had our mod committee, our head mod election. I don't know why I named it mod committee election. Mods voted, and they selected their new mod committee head. For those of you who have met him, Bio is now back in charge, back at the helm. He's been I think this is his second tour duty. I don't know if it's his third.
Would be his second stint, at least. Could be his third. I don't know.
Could be. He's been around for a while.
Yeah, Domino or Bio was he joined the mod committee when I was mod committee head. He did great work for me. He did great work for Domino when Domino took over after I left, and then took over for Domino when Domino stepped down. So happy to see him coming back in for a second stint. He did a good job last time, and being mod committee head's not an easy job, boss. It is, I think all of the positions in this league where we do, quote work, is it's an interesting thing because we're all here because we want to be, right? I think you're not here because I'm forcing you to be here, right?
No. What?
Cool.
And
I'm
that
not
was
here because you're forcing me to be here
that's
either.
that's an announcement later on. Let's relax here.
Yeah, actually, I've been holding boss at gunpoint this entire time. None of you can tell, but it's happening.
Oh God.
It's
No,
you know,
HUD, you have never done such a thing, and
never
I
not once.
totally have faith in you as a friend.
Blink twice if you're in danger.
But
It can be thankless. That's what I'm trying to get to, boss. Is there's a lot of stuff that goes on along behind the scenes that people are doing out of the kindness and generosity of their hearts. Nobody's getting a paycheck, and I'm not, at least. And there's you got to deal with some stuff that's not fun to deal with. Just stuff that comes with running a league that is this size. And I have full faith in Bio to be able to shoulder that, because it is not a fun time sometimes, and it takes a certain kind of person to be able to just kind of power through all of it and go.
you're gonna let me tell you what Bio said, because I actually reached out for some interview questions for Bio.
I don't want to hear what Bio has to say. I already know what he has to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna strike. I actually asked him. This was the second question I ever asked him. I was like, "Hey man, if I wild out real quick, can I avoid a second strike?" Surprisingly, no. Surprisingly, it's an equal opportunity strike system.
Lame.
I know, so lame. Anywho, but I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, I want to give some pretext." When I was talking with somebody else who's in the mod committee, and I said, "Hey, so I see clearly he won the election, or I couldn't talk about the election," and they go, "How did you know about the election?" And I'm like, "Aren't all committees elected? Like, isn't that how that works?" Because media committee does that as an election every 2 seasons. So I was like, "Oh, mod, arbiters are the same thing. Rules committee is the same thing. Oh, it's got to be an election. No, it's not. Apparently, it's not.
That's so weird.
Apparently, it's just not commonplace for every tier, or every committee. But no, it is. I reached out to him and said, "Hey, who did you run against? How did it go?" And he let me know it was him, Maisie, and Misty that all ran for mod committee head. And what we were talking about, when I asked him, like, "Hey, what are you looking forward to with mod committee? Like, what do you want the future of mod committee to look like, and how do you want it to impact the league?" First thing he responded with, "Wow, boss, already trying to get me canceled first week into being in charge."
Hard-hitting questions.
Dude, it's a tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's a tough question. But no, he said his immediate plan for this short offseason is to implement a new strike documentation system that was created solely by Misty. Additionally, I will initiate a review / look at the rules that are currently written in our mod handbook. There are some rules and guidelines that need to be recategorized, changed, and read concisely to how and why we apply the strikes that we do. I didn't even read that the first time.
No, you
Holy
did.
heck,
You got it. You got it.
This may even include additions or subtractions from the behavior rulebook. Think of it as a huge overhaul of the moderation system. So, I'm not going to lie. I like to see a little bit of change here and there as we get a giant visible advertisement right behind us, because Twitch can't let me just show VODs without tagging that in. God.
I feel bad for Bio, because he's probably going to have to go in and rewrite a lot of the rules that I wrote poorly.
You're the problem?
Very well could be. That's even the worst part. Like, there very well could be edits made in there that are fixing things that I had written in that rulebook, because at one point I did all the same things that Bio is saying that he's doing. We overhauled things, we had discussions, we recategorized things. It's a cyclical thing that I think all good moderation committees should do, all good mod teams should do, because the world changes, and thus having to keep up with moderating the world has to change. So it's a job that is not easy, but it sounds like there's already multiple people in that committee that are gonna fight each other for the right to say that they did the thing that has been helping out the most, which is I think not a bad thing to have in a committee. Some drive to push everybody to contribute their best, and I'm quite happy to hear that they're continuing to refine and work, and they're, in my opinion, I might be a little biased, but we've got great mods in this server, and it's not a small server anymore, boss. It was at one point, but it ain't anymore.
Okay.
It's not.
Don't glaze
It's
them too hard.
7,000 people, boss.
I'm just saying, don't glaze them too hard because I still can get strikes, and until committee heads are immune from strikes,
I can get strikes again. How do you think it used to? I used to be the one who gave out the strikes, and now I can get strikes.
No. See, I'm in charge right now. I deserve to not get strikes. That's how this works.
If they make you not be in charge, I will just be your puppet.
I think the last time.
A good time.
No. I think the last time somebody said they were running something as a puppet, a whole franchise was barred. So like maybe don't make that comment before it happens, because I don't want them being like, media committee,
and then we won't have to talk about it.
That's fair.
The
Speaking of, wow, I put up the wrong title as well. I'm so great at this.
I can't believe you've done this.
Nope, that's the wrong one. Ooh. Ow, what the heck? We've already got like 5 titles. I'll just go back to the main title because, anywho, media committee election. I originally talked about potentially stepping down. Apparently, April Fools, that's not happening. Apparently, HUD was going to be the only one running against nobody because nobody else wanted it. And you were literally like, if I have to, I guess I'm here.
Nobody else is going to. I guess that's me then.
Oh my god. But dude, I got so many messages, which I want to thank a lot of people for. The outreach was tremendously impactful, and it definitely made me realize that the work I've been doing for Media Committee Head has been very well received. So I'm not trying to get super sentimental, but thank you. But in doing that, I don't know if it's been the love or being gaslit in general, but I'm gonna run. HUD backed out of the race, so I ran unopposed. Surprise!
Nobody wanted it in the first place, boss. You get to keep it.
Dude, I messaged Monty as soon as I told him, I was like, yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and run. And he goes, awesome, congrats, you win.
Yeah. Congratulations, it's still yours. Yeah, no, I was ready and able to step up to fill the void that you would have left if you had decided to step down, boss, but I am glad that I don't have to. So I'm very excited to get to continue to work with you and the rest of the people in the media committee. You know, we've continued to get new people in. If you've listened to any of the finals, go ahead.
Is it a strike if I show the media committee Discord? Technically, because it's like...
I don't think so.
Okay, great. No. I'm just going to show it. I literally posted, I don't always retire, but when I do, I don't.
When I do, I don't.
I was like, it's all right. Oh, man.
Barb of RSC here, everybody. Coming back for his second tour, except he's not going to change uniforms. He's going to stay in the same one. Wouldn't it be hysterical?
New rule, media committee head does not wear uniforms.
What if we made you come back and we were like, all right, boss, you decided that you wanted to step down as media committee head and then come back, but we already gave media committee away to HUD, so you can have stats committee.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. Get bent. Oh, no. No, Array, I like you a lot. You're a cool person, but oh, no, I'm not. I'm even trying not to swear, dude. Oh, God. Ew, get that away from me. If there's one committee that I'm like, okay, they do a concerning amount of work and they make me feel like I'm slacking, it's probably stats committee, and not happening. Not happening.
No, they're all of the committees take a certain kind of person, and I'm also not one of those stats people, but we are quite lucky that we have them in the capacity that we do, and we're quite lucky that we have you back for another season as a media committee head, boss. I will do my best to not bark up your tree too often, but we've got a lot of people who are coming in who are excited to. Don't take bark up your tree as a euphemism. Just like it means that I'm not going to bother you. but I know Boa especially is excited to get it rolling. I feel like I have to maybe fend him away with the stick sometimes because he's got so much excitement for what's coming up with the rest of this league. And then we've got a few more up and comers that I'm excited to continue to get in with this media committee going forward.
True. I will also put out there, just not naming names. I've heard we've got some fun applicants, some people who've been around the block before. I'm not naming names, but I've heard this could be a very big shakeup this offseason, and I'm just going to leave it at that. There might be a lot of turnover in the GM category. So, I'm not trying to we'll just not name this. But anywho, Tech, I always answer your questions. Anywho, HUD, do you have any other things you want to say here before we wrap up the stream?
Sorry, if anybody's trying to talk to me, I don't look at chat. Boss has got that locked down. I've got too many windows up, okay? I've got 3 brain cells to rub together, and right now they're all dedicated to making fun of Boss.
That's crazy.
Can't look at chat. I'm really sorry.
Do you have anything else you want to say before you wrap up the stream tonight?
I don't. No, I'm happy to be here. I'm more than... well, actually, psych, I do. Get bent. I always have something else to say, Boss. You should know better than to ask me. Strike me, please. Do it.
Wait. No, me telling him to strike is a strike. Don't do it. I don't need a second strike. I won't be media committee head anymore.
You've got Uno reverse carded. Oh, no. This is actually an Uno reverse card on me, because if you get struck and kicked out, then I have to be committee head. Never mind, Boss. Get us off the air quick before anybody can kick you off the committee.
Wait, what?
I said get us off the air quick before anybody can kick you off the committee.
Oh, my God. Well,
I'm done talking. I won't talk anymore.
My name has been Boss Dalla. This has been HUDX, and we have been the PreJump podcast for week 9. We've only got one more week left of finals, people. Actually, week and a day. So Go ahead, keep tuning in to your Monday and Wednesday regularly scheduled broadcasts. We've already talked about who's casting and producing Monday, but we will catch you